this video, we will create a new project, execute the scan, and explore the reports. In the previous video, we registered ourselves and we did a short exploration of the main console of Snyk. And I know this video was published a long time ago. Hopefully the next one will be published sooner than this one. For this video, I removed all projects and I have like a free, fresh account. If you remember last time, we went through the platform and there was many projects, right? Right now, this is completely empty and this is how it should be at this point. I removed all of those projects to not disturb ourselves during this video and during this tutorial. What will we do? We will add a new project. It will be the one you saw already, this one with Dockerized WordPress. I choose this one as it has a lot of vulnerabilities because the project is really old and I didn't do anything with that for a long time. So we will be able to see if we have the possibility to fix it with Snyk. We're gonna add the project, run the scan, review the report. We will also check the project configuration. So let's get started. Okay, so it's time to get our hands dirty and add the new project. So here we are in the empty dashboard. Let's go first to project tab. I am already there. So here we see the blue add project button. I will not surprise you if I say that we need to click it. Okay, we see some options, GitHub, CLI, so on. We use GitHub project here for simplicity and because I have this configured already. After a few seconds, depends how long the collecting process will take, we see all repositories to add. Now, if you remember, I added the integration to my account, so I see all repositories and also all repositories which are shared with me. There are other options as well, but we just keep this simple. On top, we see the repositories in my own main project on GitHub. I'm clicking my Docker multiple WordPress and I'm gonna to add selected repositories to my scans. Let me emphasize this again. Code in this repository is very old. I use this repository on purpose because I know there will be a lot of findings, different types of findings, so that's great, right? And now we have this configured for one project. So it was that quick. It's cool, right? After we finish the clicking part, we need to wait a moment until the project is fully imported and first initial scan is done. So we will see each other very soon then. Okay, hello again. I'm gonna click my project, but before, let's see what we have here. We have information about our project, what is the name, and we have a couple of letters next to it. Letters and numbers. Let's explore this first. So we have the first letter C. This means critical. And these are the vulnerabilities which we don't want. We don't want them at all. Okay? Our first responsibility should be to fix those 8 criticals here. Then we have H. H means high. Of course, those vulnerabilities are less critical than criticals. That's, I think, somehow obvious, but we should deal with them as well. And as we can see here, we have almost 80 of high-end criticals. Then we have M, which means medium, okay? And on the end, we have L, what means low. This low means that those vulnerabilities are not that important. However, the best option which we should have in mind is to clean all of those vulnerabilities, starting with criticals, then highs, then mediums, and on the end, lows. Okay, so this is what we see on the first screen. Okay, I promised to go inside, so let's do it now. We see here few sections, and we see few elements. Okay, let's go to our WordPress Docker file, and because I think this is the most critical one for us to fix. And now what we see, we have a few sections. We have kind of metadata. Well, better will be to say that this part shows some basic information about the container. Next section gives us options for upgrade. And first, what we will do, we will click See More Upgrade Types. We see here a couple of potential options for us to upgrade. Okay, so the current image now is PHP 7.4 and it has 217 vulnerabilities. The major upgrade will give us the PHP 8.2 with 96 vulnerabilities. Better, but still. Then we have alternative upgrades, which are PHP 8.2, 16 RC1, and so on and so on and so on. We can open the pull requests to any of this version. We will do it in the next episode. We can also learn more about specifics for this operation in the linked documentation in the description. Final section shows us all libraries and so on, right? So we can see it here. We see the vulnerabilities, their severity, and some information about what is the detail about this vulnerability. We can click, we can check what is inside, and we can also go to the documentation and see more info, even more info. That is really neat. All right, it's about issues, but there is another tab, dependencies. And these dependencies show us the table or graph if we click the graph option. But for this specific case, there is no reason to click graph because this will be very, very simple. Like there is nothing interesting to show really. This view shows us the information about vulnerabilities in the specific packages. So we also can familiarize ourselves where exactly the vulnerability exists. It is simple in this example, but you have the feeling of the feature right now, okay? We have two more tabs here. First is history. Now we see here only one position, what is obvious because this is the scan which happened automatically when I created this project and connected it with my repository. I'm gonna go and run another scan and then go back here and we will see more than one scan. There will be two. Well, obvious. Of course, in our case, this second scan is exactly the same because we didn't change anything. But here you can see the feel, or you can feel how it looks. Okay, and then we have another tab, settings, and this is the final tab for this video. Setting is for, well, configuration settings, right? We can configure the project here. We can enable notifications, configure the frequency, copy ID of the project, what might be useful, for example, when the API is used. Finally, we can deactivate the project or even delete it. When the project is deleted, all history is removed. You have to remember about that because this may be important for you. We have one more setting for GitHub here, for GitHub integration. Now it shows a very simple thing. As we see, this project inherited all settings from integration, but we can change it a little. When I click customize, I can disable or enable automation. That's it, not much of it. Enough for this episode then. In the next one, we will test if this button delete project really deletes the project. And in the next video, we will try to fix the vulnerabilities by opening the pull request from Snyk GUI. And we will check if this really works. So, in this episode, we configured and explored the new project, and we saw what scans report can show us. I am Paweł Piwosz. See you next time.